So I'm going to prep my book covers for stitching, and the tools I'm going to use for this part are, I've got a Crocodile Big Bite, which I'm going to use for punching my holes, a pencil, a ruler, eraser, eyelets, which will go with this, and then I've made this punching guide using my bookbinding tool from We Are Memory Keepers. It's a great tool for making sure your holes are in all the same places when you're binding books and punching a bunch of pages, but I just used it for this project. I don't think I'm going to use it again. Okay, and so first things first, I will take my book covers. I think I want them to open up with the pink on the inside, so we're going to want to punch our holes along this edge. And I think I want my holes to be, I don't know, just under a ½ inch in from the edge. So this is maybe not the best ruler for this, but it's the one I could find the easiest. So we've got about a ½ inch. It's a quarter or a half. We'll do right here, which is just about 3/4 of an inch in. You know what? I gotta get a better ruler. This is no good. Now we're talking. This is my good ruler because you can see it's got the lines, transparent lines all the way through. Or the ruler's transparent, you can see the lines all the way through. So what I'm gonna do is line my edge of my book up at 3/4 of an inch, which I can see through my ruler. So I'm just gonna align that all the way. I'm gonna draw a light pencil line all the way down, which I will erase once I've made my holes. Okay, and I'll do the same for this one. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks like that lines up at the top and at the bottom. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to take my punching guide that I've made. This is an 8½ inch tall piece of paper. So I'm going to line that up. I'm going to try and get it close to my pencil line. I didn't make these holes big enough for me to really see, but I should be able to move my holes over once I get them in the right place. Okay. So I'm just going to make another light dot, and I've made 5 holes in my guide because I want to do a fairly loose binding. Oh, I got that one right on the line. The rest of them not so much. Okay. And same for this. I'm actually going to flip it over just so it's exactly opposite. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but just for my peace of mind, we'll do that here as well. Okay, and then I'm going to move my dots over to my pencil line. Make sure you have a nice high quality eraser to erase with, otherwise you're going to end up with pencil marks on your book cover. Actually, that is that's not a dot, that is a smudge. So I didn't get any of them exactly right. Oh well. Okay. So there is that. I'm just going to line these up next to each other to make sure they look about right, which I think they do. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my Crop-A-Dile to punch holes in these book covers. And what I'm gonna do is set it to the 3/16 inch hole, which you do on this little lever on the top. And then when you push down, you can see that it's gonna punch a nice big hole here. And this is kind of the scary part because it's like the point of no return. Once you've punched these, you can't go back. So I'm lined up my guide here, so I'm always gonna be punching my holes at the same depth. And then I'm gonna just push, oops, my guide is not wanting to stay, which is making me a little nervous. I'm gonna punch my hole right where my dot is. And this is gonna take some pressure. There we go. Okay, and then we've got a nice hole, which I'm gonna put an eyelet in this hole. I think that turned out okay. Whew. A little nerve-wracking because all my hard work, I don't want to have to redo it. And then we'll do 2, 3. Whew, so far so good. I think that looks good. This is my first time really using this tool. I've tested it on some scraps, but never actually done punching on a project before. Oof. Okay, so there's my 5 holes, which I'm gonna bind through. And I think that looks great. So we'll do the other side real quick. All right, now we have our holes in both sides. These should line up fairly well. Yeah, I can see through there. Awesome. Okay, and so there are our book covers punched and ready for the next step. Okay, so first things first, we'll grab our high polymer eraser and just erase these lines. Okay, looks good as new. Oops, I got a few dots on this one. Hold on, almost there. So I got the dots off that one, dots off that one. Good, ready to go. And so what I'm gonna do for this is I'm gonna set eyelets in these holes to make them look nice and finished. And I'm gonna do that using the Crop-A-Dile Big Bite. And instead of using it to punch holes, I'm gonna use it to set my eyelets. So I've got these eyelets and they're a nice kind of little antique-y gold color, which I think are gonna look really nice on my cover. And all you do is you pop your eyelet into the hole, and then you grab your tool, and it's got a setting on this little interchangeable cube for large eyelets, 3/16 inch eyelets. You switch this from where we had it on the punch over to the eyelet setting, and then you just use the same motion, set the eyelet. So I'm gonna just put this here and then balance my eyelet on the little cube. It just notches in there just right. And squeeze. And now my eyelet is set. Yeah, that's great. You can see how it's kind of folded over there. These eyelets could maybe be a little longer because my book covers are thick, but this is what I've got, and I think they're gonna work just fine. Well, I know they're gonna work just fine because I've got one done. And then I'll do, oops, this one's got some junk in it that didn't get punched out all the way. I'm gonna take my pencil, push that through, and then just yank it out. Okay. And then as you can see, I'm just popping the eyelet in there. And then I'll go back to my tool, line it up, and punch, and you kind of hear a little click when it sets. And there's my 2 eyelets set. Oh, I love the way this looks. This is so great. Okay, I'm gonna finish up the rest of these, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so next I'm gonna punch the holes in my paper pages. And I'm gonna just use my guide again. And I'm gonna line them up. Line the holes up with the strip that I made. And I'm gonna do it on one sheet first. And grab my pencil. And I'll adjust these again as I need to once I get them on there. You could be more precise about this, but I don't feel like I need to. So I'm gonna try and punch right about in the middle of this strip. And I think that'll give me a spot right about where my eyelets are, so I don't have my pages hanging over the edge of my book cover. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just eyeballing this, since this is gonna be kind of a loose book. Like I said, I think it's okay if these are kind of loosey-goosey. So I'm gonna get back to my punch tool, move it to the 1/8 inch hole, because I want there to be like a significant hole, not just a hole punched with an awl, since you'll be able to see them. And I think I can go through several pages at once. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna squeeze it hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, that did a good job. Yeah, that did a really good job. And I've just got these, lined up like that. Nothing special. And again. Whoops. And another. Again, just to make sure. And I'm looking at this from the side to make sure the punch is going right on top of my dot. Okay, so there's my 5. I think I've got 5 here. Yeah, 5 pages punched. Hopefully those line up pretty well on the strips. Looks like they do. Yeah. Yeah, I think that looks fine. And then that should also line up with my eyelets. Oh, which it does. Oh, that's great. All right. So that's what we're gonna do for punching the paper. I'm gonna punch the rest of these and then we'll be back. All right, well now I've got all of my pages punched. Got my covers punched. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to write in my book the content I want to have in the book. I won't make you sit through that because that's not very interesting for you. So that's all I've got for this video. Stay tuned for the next one where I bind it all together.